Good evening. It's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday. And I have so many things to show you tonight. So I hope you'll pop on and say hello. This is live. However, you just get to see a picture of my face tonight. Um, Let me just make sure that we're streaming okay, and then we will get started. Good evening. Okay, I hear it. And I see it, and now you just need to pop on and say hi. How's that sound? All right. So hopefully you got your new catalogs. They were mailed out last week. So let me know if you didn't get one and you were expecting to get one, or you don't have a demonstrator. Let me know, and I can get one mailed to you, or check to see where yours got to. We have, the catalog starts on the 6th, I believe, of May. Let me make sure I'm correct here. If it says it on the catalog. This is what you're looking for. May 6th, yeah. So I just want to mention that on the catalog, if you didn't catch it, I have a little sticker here, excuse me, with QR codes, so that you can easily go to products in my store, like for scrapbooking, online exclusives, and the kits collection. Because all of those products are not shown in the catalog. Some are, but not everything. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for popping on. And then, of course, back here on page 102, I believe it is, I popped a QR code. That just means that you can take your phone, the camera on your phone, and hold it up to that, and a link will pop up, and when you click on that, that takes you to that place. So this is all my organizational products that are available or will be available. Okay, and then of course on the back is just regular shopping. Hi Jeannie. Hi Linda. So anyway, so if you didn't get your catalog, if you're a demonstrator, your catalog will come to you in your first order placed anytime this month, or next month, whenever you place your first order, since like the beginning of April. Or I should say, yeah, the beginning of April. Okay, so tonight what I want to share with you is the Thankful Garden Suite. I want to show you a project that I'm doing for my award cards for February. Yes, I'm behind. A swap that I got, and then I want to show you another card. I'm gonna go through this card fairly quickly. Let me just see if I can find the card here. So this is the card that I'm gonna show you, except I'm changing the colors. I got this idea from Brandy's cards, and she shared the colors she used. So I used the exact colors she did here, and I'm gonna change them up in the one I do for you tonight. And then this card was made by one of my team, Carol Warrenfeltz, and it's just so beautiful. And so I wanted to share that with you. You might have seen it before. And then I have another one that I'm going to walk you through how I set this up, because this is a bundle. Okay, so I wasn't going to get this bundle, but it kept calling me, and my customers kept looking at it. And I thought, okay, so it's another flower, right? Well, it's not just any other flower. It has masks with it. So if you like coloring or you hate coloring, you will love masks, because they are set up to color perfectly. And I'll walk you through that. It has several, sheets of dies, and dies for each of these flowers, and the masks do each of these flowers. So, at first, it was hard from the catalog to tell exactly how it worked. So I want to show you that so that you are not confused. All right. Hi, Charlene. So there are 5 masks, and I want to tell you that it doesn't matter what order you do them in. However, it matters if you get them lined up first. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I do it on my Stamparatus. You do not have to have a Stamparatus to do this. You can have any area where you tape it down, and you are, let me turn that off. I forgot to turn Actually, I don't know how to do it anymore. This thing updated and it messed everything up. So we might just have to hear that. It's frustrating. I have to learn all new things every time my phone updates. So anyways, as long as you tape down what you're doing so that you know wherever the mask goes every time. And that's why these little notches are here. However, the way I'm going to show you to set it up, you don't need to use the notches. Okay? Hi, Betty. Good to see you again. All right, so I set this up, and like I said, I'm going to show you how to do it on the next card. So I'm just going to pop this in here. This is how I do for my classes so that everybody can stamp and I can cut things out quickly. I can cut 2 of these at a time, and it's just easier than everybody can stamp, and we don't have to do a lot of die cutting at a class. So hopefully that's still lined up. All right, I'm going to pop that back in there. It's going to stay in here the whole time while we're coloring. So I have color on the other flower, on the hydrangea, but we're not starting with that one. So I'm going to start with one, and that should line up right there like that, okay? Because I set it up to line up that way. Don't get ahead of me. I'm going to show you how to do that in the next one, okay? I'm going to start with fresh freesia, I think. And this is number 1, and you can see it's all open, so that means you want your lightest color on the very, very open design, okay? So we're using fresh freesia in here. On my other one that I showed you first, let me just put that in here. I used, my first was Bubble Bath, and then a pink. Oh my goodness, it's one I always have trouble remembering. Melon Mambo. It's a fruit. Hi, Debbie. Oh, good. Watching from vacation. All right, so I think I got enough color on there. You can really see it once you take the mask off. Let's go to, we'll go in order. This is number 2. And you'll notice that my notch is down here. And it doesn't matter where your notch is. If you're not using it, it doesn't matter. Since I have it set up in the corner, I don't need to worry about where that's at. Now I'm just going in with the same color, but it's going to have a heavier, it's going to be double loaded because I'm going over certain sections again that the mask, excuse me, is exposing. I'm getting a frog in my throat and I didn't bring any water. All right, see that? See how that's coming? Excuse me. And then this is the last one. I am going to add a little bit of Highland Heather. Just be really careful when you go to a darker color. You can get almost too much color, I think. If you get too much color, you can always go back. That didn't do too bad, so I'll go a little heavier there. You can always go back and add more of the other colors on the other layers, and that will soften your colors. I almost feel like I want a little more background, so I'm going to go back to number 1 and go back into here and just do a little heavier. Okay, here we go. What do you think? Hi, Donna. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. All right, so now that was 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go to 4 and 5. They have the leaves on them. And we need this leaf. And you just have to look at your stamp to see which leaf you're on. And I'm going to just grab Granny Apple Green here. Let me close these. I think we're finished. Well, I might need that one later, but let me close this one. Okay. Again, staying light on my first one. It's also nice to make sure that you see your stamped image inside of your mask, especially on this larger open image. This is where you'll see all of that. When you get to the other ones, you can't see that as much. And then I'm just going to come in here, same color. I could go with garden green, but I think I just went a little heavier on the granny apple on this one. And there you go. Now we can pop that out, and we have that ready to put on our card. All right, let me just scoot this away. All right, we're going to do one more thing on the Stamparatus here. Notice on the background here we have the words stamped, and so I do like that option on here. You can see through these, so you can easily do this on your own and make sure that you're lined up so that you can get them nice and straight. But I'm coming in with Coastal Cabana and just going to ink that, stamp it, move it down one. Need two hands to do that. Ink it again. Sorry, this is a little redundant, but it does give a cool look. See if I can do this with one hand. You always want to be straight up if you have a Stamparatus. I'm not sure about other alignment tools if they have the hinge like this. And then we'll need one more on here. And because I'm not finished with, I don't want to take the stamp off of here, but I want to put a couple stamped off, whoops, inside here. I'm just going to ink it, stamp it off, and then try to stamp it without dropping it like I did in the last one. Ink it, stamp it off, stamp it. It's a very big block, right? Okay, so there we have that finished. And now we're ready to put our card together. Let me just scoot that off here. I did already put the back around together. I used the mini corrugated to create a layer on here. You cannot do that on your card base because it will totally destroy your card. So you definitely need to put a layer on there. I will tell you, I just checked before I came on here, and this is not available till like the end of March or May. If you were looking for that, it sold out very quickly to the demonstrators, and I guess customers too. It did come. It was an online. I think it was an online exclusive, so that came out beginning of April. So maybe you got it already. Okay, so there's our background, and then we just need a bunch of dimensionals on here. I have some here that I have made for my team, and they already have dimensionals on. I was like, oh, I can use that, and I was like, oh, that's the wrong color. So I had to make you watch me put dimensionals on, which you know I hate. Okay, two more, then we're done. Ooh, I like that. I love those purples. And then I'm going to give this a little tail. Let me cut a little bit here and a little bit here. I bent this a little bit, but I'm hoping that once I put it on here, it will straighten. It won't show. All right, now I want to run this across here. So I'm going to put a dimensional on either end so that it will pop up. Actually, I'm going to put one in here as well because I don't have any dimensional on the stem here. And this is where I have the bend in my paper, so I want to stick one there for sure. And then I'm just going to line this up at the edge of my stamped piece here. I don't want to cover up my words underneath too much. And there we go. And then there's this really cute stamp. Can I fit this inside? I did want to stamp that. Do I want to stamp that in the purple? Maybe since my purple's open, I'll use that. I was going to use Coastal Cabana. but thank you. I'm glad you like it. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Ruth. Thankful for you, my friend. So, are you in the purple gang or are you in the pink? Tell me what your favorite is of those two. Hi, Melissa. All right, let's see. I need some of these colors. I don't need these. All right, let's go ahead and finish with this one. I have another sneak peek to show you, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I started this all this masking stuff, how I set it up. So let's do that next while you tell me which color you like best. All right, so this is the card that I want to finish. This is soft seafoam with lovely or gorgeous grape. And then for the stamping part, I used basic beige. I would tell you, I saw a similar idea by Melissa or something, but I can't remember what her name was. I didn't write it down. I thought I could remember it, but it was an unusual name. It wasn't like Smith or something. Not that I'd remember that either with this brain, but I did want to add a glue dot here. I'll finish this card and then I'll start from the beginning so that you can see what I was doing. But I do love the muted tones of that one. And this is the striped, the new painted stripes. I think this came out as an online exclusive. And you can see all the little layers of detail that looks like they're watercolored stripes. So I did stamp it off. I did it with Old Olive. And so what I did was I inked this up, and then I took a piece of scrap paper here, and I just took my scrap paper and wiped across it, and then I laid my cardstock on here to ink it so that it was less of an inky image. I'm just gonna clean that off of here real quick, because if I don't, I might forget that it's not clean. All right. Let's see. Let's grab this. So this is another Stamparatus that I have sort of ready to go. And we're going to do this other flower on here. I apologize that my face is still up there. Let me switch so that you don't have to look at my face the whole time. I meant to do that a while ago, but I wasn't looking, obviously. The reason my face is not showing tonight is because my hair needs washed. I had a lot to do today and had a cat skin, so they were just checking on things from last fall. Anyways, so I am doing a treatment with my hair now. I'm trying to put castor oil and rosemary oil in it at night before I wash it. So I didn't want to wash it today. So my husband's, I do have it combed. It's combed, but totally different than I normally do. And my husband said, "Are you actually going to go live with your hair like that?" So I was like, all of a sudden, I am not going live with my hair like that. So you don't get to see me. Okay. There you go. That's why. Okay. So pretend that this is just a piece of cardstock. This is how we'd start. I have my stamp loose. I have my stencils here, and let's see, we are using this one. And so I found out anyways that it goes this direction. So if you sort of look at this, you can see that lines up like that. So I need my card going this way. You noticed on the other one I had it going the other way. But I also want to know where the leaves go. So I'm going to grab that one as well. I sort of like that I have ink on here because I think I'll be able to see through here a little bit better to do what I want to show you. I'm going to take some of this off of here from the other one. Do you see how you can see the white parts now? So I'm going to just lay this stamp on here. I'm going to start down here at the stem and put it in the hole. So I'm putting stamp down, and I'm hoping that it's going to line up perfect. It probably won't, but we can always hope, right? And I have a problem. Hold on one second. Well, it really isn't a problem, but I want to make sure my card is pushed the whole way in, and this should be lined up in there. Now I can close this and grab it, get these out of the way for a second, and stamp my image. Pretend this is not cut yet, okay? I just needed to save a step because I knew this was going to get a little too long if I didn't. So on my sheet of cardstock now, I'm stamping the image. Now I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and my die, and I'm going to cut this piece out. By the magic of television, I've cut it out. Now I can go ahead and stick it back in. You can see I'm not lined up there very good for some reason, but it's good enough for television. You can practice with it. If I was going to make another one, I would scoot it over just a hair so that this bottom is over just a little bit. All right, so now we're ready to start. We'll start with this one and line it up. Look at that. There it is. It's lined up pretty good there on the flowers. And we're going to start with, where is my fresh freesia? Is that the color I'm using? No, I just used Highland Heather. I think I only used Highland Heather on this. I just used several shades of it, I believe. No, I did use somewhere around here there it is. Gorgeous, great. Okay, so let's get, well, that didn't happen before. You need to stay in your spot down there. It's popping out of that little hole. I need to just make sure I'm holding that good. And I just start on the stencil so that I'm not getting that dark color right off. You know how we usually do it on our paper, but you can do it right on the stencil. And I like doing that, either that or on the little silicone pad, because then you don't lose so much of your color as you do when you do it on your paper. Okay, there's number one. Like I said, you don't have to stay in order, so let me just find another one here. Let's do number 3 next. I can see that's not quite lined up because, like I said, I didn't have it. And this is where I'm going to do the gorgeous grape. Again, just be really careful that you don't put too much color on that shaded part, because it really can look terrible. Now, that was number 3, I think. Yeah. And so it's going to look a lot darker because we didn't do number 2 yet. Okay. So don't panic. Go back to, let me just wipe this off a little bit. I'm going to go back to Highland Heather and come back in here and put another layer of Highland Heather down. And it's not going to get all of the flowers. You'll see there's little flowers in here that it's not coloring completely, so that your flower ends up looking real shaded and like a totally perfect flower. And this is so fast. It takes a little bit to set up, but you can really get a whole bunch of these done. And I did that a little heavy, got a little heavy-handed while I was talking there. Let me just go back and put a little bit more of this on. I acted like I was doing the that other one, that this one here. This one really could use a little bit more color, because it's not our basic white that's so smooth that just grabs all the color. Let me show you the leaves first, and then I can maybe fix that one a little bit. Go back in there. Okay, let me scoot that aside. We'll get our green out here. Let's see. I think this is Old Olive, yeah. And we need 4 and 5 for this. So this is 5. Go ahead and stick that on. And And I'm just going to do this regular, like I'm not going to add extra green to this. Just going to pretend like I'm putting one layer on there. Take that off and grab number 4 and do the same with this. And you'll see how that same color, just because it's layered on top, is really going to stand out. Ta-da! Look how amazing that looks. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so is anybody else tempted as much as I was? I couldn't say no to this set. It's just so amazing. I love hydrangeas, and I have to say it definitely beats our previous hydrangea set. I'm going to just come back in here. I do have another card to show you, so I won't take too much time. I just have to, this is not in the same, but I can see the lines there good enough. I want to come back and add a little bit more purple here. If I can do this without making a mess and getting it all over my card. I would be really upset if I did that. I think this is number 2, yeah. Get my ribbon in there, that's not good. All right, Mr. Ribbon, you need to come off there for a second. Okay, let me go to number, let's see, this is 3, yeah. Let's put 3 on there and get some, a little bit. This is going to be hard to line up because I can't see, this doesn't give you a line, but maybe I might not be able to do this. There, I can see it. Okay, good. There's some areas that do line up a little bit. Some of them are right in the center of the flower, so you can't tell. I just want these colors to pop a little bit more on this card so it's not so muted looking. There we go. Is that better? I like it. I like it a lot better. All right, we are gonna, hi Pat, hi Cindy. I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. I've been busy yakking and stamping. I'm gonna put our ribbon back on here if I didn't color it. It's still sticky. And I forgot to add the gems on the other card. Let me grab those. Purple fine shimmer gems. I can't remember if they're staying or going, so I apologize if these are being retired, but they're too pretty not to use, and especially perfect with this card. And since this isn't for class, I can use a ton because, like, I don't have to share them with anybody, right? All right, and then let's put some on. I think the purple ones will look okay on here too. Let's go with the lighter purple. There we go. Can't forget the bling. All right, I'm done with that. Okay, now, if you were at my thing on Saturday, you got to make a card with our sailboat set. But I had some of it done. So if you were there, I want to show you how I did it. And if you weren't there, I want to show you how I did it. How's that sound? Let me clean up my stuff here so that I can actually get to it. All right, so let me show you the set first. This is coming out in the new catalog, and I am just in love. It is a hybrid. It is a hybrid sailboat, and I love sailboats. I don't know why. I don't sail, never have, but I just love the look of them. And check out that folder. So I want to show you how I did this card. I think that I got the idea from the catalog. Do you see how the boat is just a little bit white compared to the background paper? Now, this is Cloud Cover and they're the new in colors. Secret Sea. Love them together. So they were perfect for this card. And I'm using Whisper White ink and setting up my I need to color the indented part because that's the part that's gonna be, what do I want to say, convex on the card. So it's got to be on the inside of that part. And you can use a sponge brush or a sponge dauber. To tell you the truth, I can't remember what I did. But I did take and cut this sailboat out of a piece of white paper to make a die. Because I want to cover this. Oops, I have to flip it around. I only want to color inside of that. So I used this as a little mask for my embossing folder. Hi, Karen. I'm pretty sure I used the sponge brush, but for some reason I have a white sponge brush. I don't really want to make another one white, and I can't find it, but I'm going to have to use it because this isn't going to go down in there. Let me just tell you, you got to use a sponge brush. I can wash it out. I don't know where my white one got to. Now I did notice that this little piece in here likes to move. It didn't seem to be an issue, and I did 24 of these with one stencil. But you do want a nice amount in there. And you might want to just tap it over that instead of rubbing it so that oh, I forgot to bring my wow, I am a mess with this. Let me just find something to clean this white off of my hands. My ink pad is very inky. All right, so then what I did was I lined this up over here. Let's take this off. And you want to put this where you want your boat to be. So about like that. And then close that. And then we're going to run that through. Let me just close this before I get any more ink on anything. Look at that. Not sure why that's so messy. All right. Now, I can't run it through here because I don't have the right thing. Because this is a 3D and I don't have my 3D plate. But let me grab it. It's only like 5 feet away. Give me a second. Because I really want to show you how that looks. Okay, it was more like 15 feet, but who's counting, right? Okay, there we go. How cool is that? Isn't that neat? And of course you can keep going with these or clean that off and be ready to just use it for whatever you want to use it for. And we did stamp the cute little bird up here in the sky. And then just layered it on here. And the rest is history. A little bit of ribbon, some of the new in color gems, and it's done. So pretty quick and easy, a really great guy card, and a really nice new set. I think you'll enjoy that. All right, boy, I rushed through that. Did that in 35 minutes. That's probably a record to do 3 cards in that amount of time. I did want to show you another sneak peek. Well, let me mention this. Those of you that placed your orders, and at least 4 of you took advantage of the free shipping as customers, and some more of you probably as demonstrators took advantage of the free shipping like I did. And I think I showed you this card before, but this is my card for this month for our Stampers Creative Stamping Collective. I say that wrong every time. But anyways, this is my project that I have a video on and the PDF for, along with 11 other friends in that team. And that's what you'll get this month. If you didn't already, you'll get that in your email shortly, as soon as I get to that, so that you can make those cards or other projects or whatever you want to do. Watch the videos and use what you want. Next month is going to be this great set. It is called Notes and Totes. And I did show you, I believe, my little, oh, I didn't show you that. Shoot. Um, Anyways, this was Diane Silver's swap card from Saturday. And Debbie Paisley did one as well. But I didn't want to overwhelm you with too many things. But isn't that adorable? It's a great set. And this is going to be the one that is our free or purchase. You can purchase the PDF for $15 if you're not wanting to spend. I think our amount is $60 you have to spend to get the PDF, so that we keep that the same. All right, guys, I think that's everything. I didn't see any questions, so I'll assume that you don't have any. I appreciate your staying with me to the end. That was a long one. I hope you have a wonderful week. God bless you. Bye-bye.